Okay, I'm live. Oop, hopefully you guys can see me. Let's see, get my chat up here. All right, so today we're going to be doing some nature journaling, but while I'm journaling, I'm going to talk about sketchbooks and why they're so important, especially to the beginner. And they're also important. It doesn't matter what level of art or what creativity you're doing, they're very important. They're also very important for your mental health, your physical health, documenting your life or experimenting with different things, keeping track. There's many different ways of doing uh, sketchbooking or art journaling, whatever you want to call it. It's in a book. And there's a big, I would say, just this past 2, 3 years, making books and art journaling or creative journaling, whatever you want to call it, has really grown. And I think people are finding that this is such a great way of de stressing and relaxing for whatever time you have to do it. Hey, Lena, good to see you. So today I thought, well, I'm going to show a few books that I have on art journaling or sketchbooking or whatever you want to call it. This is a nature journal. So I'm not saying get a book for every type of journaling that you're going to do. It could all be put into one simple, inexpensive, could be a composition book, could be an art journal, like a regular art journal. This one, I think it was some type of composition book where it had lines in it, but it didn't matter. She still drew in it. It was all about documenting things she loved, and that was nature. And this one here was drawing your day, which is an awesome thing to do. So it's basically documenting what your day was about. Instead of writing everything down, a lot of times a visual journal like this gives it more emotion. And you don't have to show this to anybody. This is your private thoughts or drawings. Yeah, it doesn't matter, Riri. As long as it's a piece of paper that you can put down something. Some people like having a ruled paper because they're going to actually draw on it too. But it's nice to have a journal just to have everything in one spot instead of having a bunch of loose leaf papers. This is a really good, this is artist journals pages. If you don't have an idea of what you want to put in your book, these books are great because it kind of gives you a little sneak peek into different types of art journaling. So it's basically anything you want to put in it, you can put in it. It doesn't have to be something that is sellable. You know what I mean? So many people are scared of putting any kind of art in their books because it won't be good enough. That's what they're thinking. And art journals or sketchbooks is the number one tool, art tool for a beginner. It doesn't matter about the paint or paper or the quality of whatever you're using. Get your sketchbook and start drawing first. That will reinforce your ability to feel good about what you're doing. But you have to do it first. So the more you draw, and it could be, you look through it years down the line and think, oh my gosh. But remember, that's when you were starting. So those marks that you made are very important because that was one of the most brave things you did as a beginner. You put down a mark on your paper. You don't show it to anybody. This is your own personal safe place of learning how to draw. And like anything else, you don't expect to play the guitar or piano right off the bat. The same applies to creativity, drawing, different sewing, cooking, whatever. It takes practice. So think of it this way. If you were cooking, trying out a new recipe, or maybe you didn't even see the recipe, maybe you were trying something out that wasn't even put into a recipe before. Once you baked it or cooked it or whatever you were doing with that, would you test it first or would you give it to somebody and say, what do you think? Probably you would test it first before you gave it to somebody. Same applies to this. The sketchbook, you're trying something out, you're experimenting, you're learning. You're not going to show it to anybody because you don't want that negative input. You may yourself think, oh, it's not the best, but I'm trying, I'm learning. So don't show your stuff to anybody unless you know that person isn't going to be a real critic and put it down and not understand that you're just learning. Hey, Kim, Devin, everybody, good to see you. So, like a lot of these artists, like some people may not like certain styles too. This is how you find out what you like too, is in your journal. So it's not going to be perfect. Your journal, when you're starting out, shouldn't be bought in the thought of, oh, this is going to be the most beautiful book and I'm going to show it to everybody. No, don't do that. You'll be so let down. You will. So what I'm saying is, don't make your journal specific when you're a beginner. This is your experimenting sketchbook. It's a safe place to draw and express yourself. And it's where you improve in your skills and your learning. And that's how you get confident in your ability to work with whatever medium you want to try and work with, or just drawing. You have to build your confidence up before you can show it to people. So I've got a few. I wish I had my sketchbooks from art school, but I don't. My mom got rid of them all, sadly. But these, maybe you're not quite ready to do full-on painting and sketching in a book. Who wrote the book with sketching on text? This one? On text. I mean, there was a page in here. I don't know what page it would be, but these are all different artists. I mean, this one, Judy Watt, W-A-T-T. Is that the one you were talking about? The one before. Oh, this one? Draw Your World. She's got 2 books out. It doesn't have to be an all, like, a sketch of complete scenery. It could be just something. Look at that. Just a rake. So she did raking, say, in the fall. It's bits and pieces, but you'll learn that as you start doing. This one? That's the only ones I had. Or are you thinking about this one? Not sure. So this is a art journal. It's a sketchbook, but I just use plain old line paper. This is a book I got from Winners, I think it was. They were on sale, and this was kind of like a documenting my day or week or month or whatever. This is an old one, but I did do drawings in it and paintings. But I also used stickers and tapes, washi tapes, and gel prints. And this was a great way to start just doing a little bit of drawing in it. So if you want to start out this way, you could do this too. So pick a little thing to draw, like a flower or a butterfly, and just start filling in with color. And this is your documenting of your days or whatever it is. And this will give you confidence too. And it also helps you with colors. So what colors to put together. Something got inspired. Love that. I have my dad's drawing book from school. It is now about, oh my gosh, that must be fantastic. Wow, Dot. What a special gift that is. So say there's, like, I cut pictures out of magazines, some I drew, some I painted, but this is all about certain things that happened during this year. Well, not this year, but a few years back. So if you don't have something to represent whatever it is you're trying to, like feelings. I love these eyes because that kind of gives you feelings. But you just fill it in. start off with something like this, or combine this type, and you could still do a bunch of drawing on it. This is an older one, 2013, 14. I've shown this before. I've got everything in, and this is just a composition book that some pages I glued together, and these are where I tested out things from different classes I did, or things I wanted to try out myself. And not all of it's good, but it's somewhere where I was able to do it in a safe place, and I didn't have to worry about the quality of the paper, or is it good enough to go in this book. This is a safe place to create, and that's what beginners need, is a safe place to create. So I just played in this book. Ideas. And that's what you need to do. A sketchbook should be a safe place where you can do personal documenting of your life. You can try out things and not worry about whether it's good enough for your book. Okay, so these ones here have 2 pages because it's thin paper and I used a lot of water. But it was safe. It didn't turn out. It didn't turn out. But I tried it. So many times you get these fancy books and you're too scared to wreck your journal because you want this to be a work of art, this journal. But no, don't do that. When you're first starting out, just try things. And this is what this book was. It was just trying to see, not all stuff turned out, but it was fun. I was just testing out using one color of paint. That's it. This was another one. This is another old documenting, when I first wanted to try documenting stuff more. Little bits and pieces from all kinds of stuff, magazines, old magazines, for some real cards. Some I put drawings in, stickers. Some I just wrote most of the stuff. But it started out in the becoming a more artistic thing to do. This is off of Chicken Dinner. I used it. It gets your imagination going when you're doing this type of thing. And I know a lot of you love the collaging. So these are a great way of putting your collaging in. Photographs. Just play. Then once you get comfortable with doing this, then you can start drawing. Try drawing a little more. The more you draw, the better your confidence level and the better your drawing becomes. And when you become more able to draw and more comfortable, then you're pretty well able to draw anything. And then you have no limitations. This is the one we're working on now in the watercolor. Now this is a little different because this is basically my book for streaming. So I'm trying out things like stitching in the paper, different layouts. But it's a little experimental too, because a lot of times I'm just trying things out. Like I haven't done anything with that. This is documenting a lot of my garden stuff, different ideas. So yeah, just throw in this. This isn't pretty, but it's in my journal. There's nothing saying you can't use these as a print or something later, or you can do it again. Yeah, sewn in ones are great. So it's all experimenting. That started doing that one there. I did that one. I was watching Wendy. I think we did that last week. And this week, I thought I would do another documenting of what's going on this week. Yesterday, yay, I got my bulbs. So I'm going to put some bulbs in this year. And I thought I would just draw some of these bulbs. And these tulips are perennial tulips. So I did a lot of looking up and studying of different tulips to see. I hate putting in tulip bulbs and they only last for a couple of years and then they're gone. A lot of hybrids are like that. But these one apparently are very well known to come back year after year after year, and they still look the way they did in the first year. So this is spring green, it's called, and I get my bulbs from flowerbulbs.us.com. They have the best prices if you're interested in getting bulbs. And then this was the other one. This is a miniature one. So, and it's also a perennial. And muscari I got. So grape hyacinth, in other words. Different color, a little more on the blue side. So I thought I'd draw some of those and just a few little, I don't know, a shovel or some raindrops. We got a pile of rain. Started on Sunday. It's still raining, which is awesome here because we were in a drought. Here's some bulbs. That reminds me, I have some bulbs to plant before winter. Yeah, your winter comes a little early. I usually plant mine in October. I don't want them put in too early because if we get a warm spell, they'll start to come up. So there's some muscari. And then little funky punks. A little bit smaller. They're cute. See, there's No, that one's okay. If they get too warm, let's see. Is there any coming up? Nope, they got fuzz on the end. It's little fuzzies. All right. Okay, I make sure no impending warm spells. How's the your? Do you have a lot of squirrels there that dig stuff up? Squirrels are notorious for digging up tulips. And if you do, start brushing Lucy and use the fur to put over top of the bulbs. So, say you dig a hole. So there's your hole. So then you put your bulbs in and fill the hole a little bit with some dirt over top of the bulbs, but not quite level with the ground level. Then just lightly sprinkle. You can cut the fur up into small pieces if you want, but sprinkle the fur over top of that, and then put the remaining soil over top of that. And the squirrels will not take your bulbs then. So they have a tendency to. And that also works in flower boxes. If you're wanting to do flower boxes and the squirrels dig up your flower boxes, put some, even cat fur will work. They instantly stop digging when they hit the fur. And it doesn't have to be a lot. They'll smell it. The only one they don't dig up is daffodils and narcissus. Okay. Let's put some big ones here. So you can play along if you want. And we'll draw some. These are fairly easy to draw. You don't have to have them perfect. Always look at the shape of what you're drawing. I guess this will work. So let's put this one down here. So we have a kind of a wonky little shape. I'm not too worried about having it exact. They aren't perfectly round. And then I'm going to put some of this loose skin. It's kind of cracked on the surface here a little bit. Just add some of that. And then we have right there is where the root would come out. So the flat part is where the root. So you're going to plant it like this with the little pointy end towards the sky. So I'm just going to document what bulbs I put. And I'll probably write down some of this. So let's put another one right in here. Maybe it's always good to overlap too, so that you get depth in your painting or drawing. And then I see a little bit of the bulb under that skin there. It's cracked. A little bit in here. That. Okay. Hey, Jilly. How are you enjoying the grandbaby? Okay, these are Mascari. So we can, you know, let's see, we could put some right there like this. Just kind of have them uneven. So I'm just going to put a round circle here where I basically just threw them just so I know where I want them to go. Then I can take them off the page. So it's basically the same shape almost as the tulip. And the Mascari has a little bit of a bigger end on it. So you see a little nub there. The Mascari has a lot more root still left on there. So this one, it's got a little bit, but I don't see it. I've got it facing the different way. There is a kind of rough skin on there. And this one here, we'll put this one here like that so you can see the end of it. Like that. And then we just, it kind of looks like a bird's nest almost. There's so much there. And we'll just put in that. It's kind of very matted. And then this one here, let's put this one, make this one a little bigger. They're not all the same size either, so. And this one's got all kinds of roots coming out. Like that. And then this one here will go like this. So I can see the shape of the point on this one. And then right around here is that root area. That. And then this one here. Maybe we'll just do this. This one's a little more rounder. And then we got the little point there. More of a round area. And then the root. Some have more than others. I can just put a little bit of root there. Not much. And then these are the little honky tonk. And I don't know if you can see that. They're really fuzzy, almost like fur. So how do I want these to sit? Maybe like that. Okay, so I'm going to do this one over here. So this one comes to a real point. And then this fuzziness in the end of it. It's quite, the fuzz actually goes down into the bulb. It's almost like it's got a little fur coat on. It's quite different. Maybe that's why they're perennial. That's really interesting. And they're not split like the other one. They don't even they feel a bit different too, the skin on them, which is okay, we'll do that when we're here. I haven't got a whole lot of tulips. I did put some in about 5 years ago, but they're all gone now. It's because they peter out after a couple of years. All right, and then this one we put right there, I think. The fuzzies. This one has a little bit of root on it, not much. There's a little bit, and kind of a bit of roughness on that, like that. Okay. Okay, so now what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to use my, let's see, I want to use my ink pens. Oh, yeah, I'll zoom in. Sorry, get carried away. There you go. How are you, Zandra? I did get your Happy Mail. And I love it. Awesome. I'm going to use it Thursday. We'll try it out. So this is a 0.2, and this one is a Unipen, and they're permanent. So they don't smear, they dry fast. And they don't bleed through. So I'm just going to go over some of my lines here. And just redraw them. Now you could just use your pencil lines too. You don't have to redraw them if you don't want to use ink. Your graphite lines will show through. So you could use a darker graphite if you wanted to. This is there's a little bit of skin coming up there from the bulb. And there's all this. So I just make basically a bunch of squiggles for the roots. This one. And the bigger ones. The skins are fairly smooth in these, so you don't have to do any lines. I don't see any lines in them. They're just a little bit lighter in some areas and darker in others, but we'll do that with paint. And then after I'm done this, we'll just erase the lines that are left from the graphite. Like that. Are you keeping dry down there? Oh, Sophia, are you getting a lot of rain? Dot. We're getting a pile of rain, but I'm happy for it because we needed it. The trees were actually starting to lose their leaves without even coloring because they were dying off instead of changing color because we didn't have any water for such a long time. So hopefully this helps the trees before they have to go dormant. So you never know that much drought how it's going to affect the tree. I have some pretty old trees in the back there that I'm too old to wait for them to get a new. If they died, I'd be dead before they got to that size again. So hopefully this rain will help them. There. Okay. So now, let me get my, where did I put it? Where did I put my watercolor? Oh, that's weird. I guess I'll have to use another one. Oh, I'll use this one. This palette for today. Hopefully it's got everything I need in there. All right. So let's see. Put it up so you can see. Is that good for you guys? Get some of my brushes out. I think that was that one. Okay, I do have some Van Dyke Brown. Should do it. Yeah. It was so dry here, unbelievably dry. Like the ground had 2-inch cracks in it. That's for where the lawn was. It was really bad. But thank goodness. I'm gonna spray this a little bit. Many trees here got shocked into thinking it was autumn during the heat wave in August. Piles of brown leaves all over the ground. Yeah, that's what was happening here. But hopefully they just went dormant and not killed them. That's what I always worry about. Okay. I'm going to take some Van Dyke Brown. It's a little bit on the red side, a little warmer. And maybe a tad of Pazival Earth, it's called. Just a smidge. That's a good color. A bit more of this. And then I'm just going to put in a base coat. It's fairly dark. I might have to give it a couple coats. We'll start off with this. So I do see the bulb itself underneath the skin in certain areas. So we can put that in. And there's also a little bit of lighter and darker areas on the skin itself. It's kind of a blotchy areas on the meat of the I forgot to get some here. And then let's see, I'm going to take a little bit of yellow, I guess. This is primary yellow, just a smidge watered down, and just go over that bulb area where the skin isn't on it. Be a little bit on the creamy side, and a little bit more in here. And I'm going to add a little bit of golden ochre. Let's see if that's darker. Seems I want a nice dark. Maybe I'll have to do burnt umber from this one. It's a little darker. Yeah, that's good. Right in here. This would be a little dark in there, right in here, underneath. They do look like chubby little fish. And this one here, I'm just looking at it here. This one actually is quite dark, so I'm going to use that burnt umber. It just has a little bit of the inside showing. It's fairly dark, especially on the side. It does have a highlight that I'm keeping in mind. So I don't want to put a lot of color all over it because I want to keep one area a little bit lighter because it's shiny. It does actually, there's a couple highlights, but that's because of my lighting. It's showing up all the lighting area that I'm using. So now a bit lighter there. And I'm going to put a little bit of that. It's kind of a brick color. And that is going to go right here. Like that. So we can let that dry and we'll probably come back and add a little bit more to it. Just going to put some of that yellow in there a bit. So you can only put a few coats on at a time. And this isn't watercolor paper, so it's a little bit different. Okay, these are kind of, they're more burnt umber, but with some black in it. So I'm going to use this burnt umber here. And I'm going to add a little bit of ivory black to it. It's fairly dark. There. And there's a little bit of I think it's part of the skin coming up there. Not much, but we can add another coat to darken it even more. But those little fluffy stuff in there is fairly light. This one here, you know, it's not an exciting colorful. We'll add some leaves on here too. Just to show it's fall. Some writing or maybe a shovel would be fitting. You could just add colored pencil on top too. This is a experiment. I tend to lean towards mixed media with watercolor even. I just love using colored pencils. And there's the fuzzy stuff is a little on the, I would say it's this raw sienna side. I haven't used these paints much, so they're kind of new. I'm going to just mix it with that yellow. Makes it a little thicker. It's really interesting, though, that they have those fuzzy insides. Okay, so we'll let that one dry. Now we're going to do these. And they're more on the goldy side. So I think we'll stick with the raw sienna. And then we do have a little bit of umber in there too. It's kind of dirty looking. So let's start off with the light because it's the easiest. Just put a coat of that light color on. You could use a dirty wash too, so meaning you have a bunch of colors on your palette, you just mix them together, see what you get. And just, if it's too dark, you just water it down. A lot of times those work out great for nature journaling. Alrighty, and then a little bit darker, so I'm going to take some of the umber. While it's wet, I'm just going to tap in certain areas, like where the roots are. They're quite dark there, so I'm just going to tap in that dark color. Let it do its thing. Can bleed into the other parts here and there. And a little bit on the tops too. They're kind of got stains on them, that type of thing. Could put a little bit of dots if you wanted to. They're all a little different. Some have a little more black in them. Some gray. Put a little gray in here. Okay. All right. So let's dry this up a little bit with a heat gun. Dan? All right. Now this one is a little darker, so we want to add more on the reddish side, a little bit more. So I'm going to go with that dark umber again. A bit more water to it. And we'll just add a little bit more paint to that, these big ones here, because it is a little bit more on the dark side. And a little bit of black in there. And right in here. Remember this one was a little bit shiny. So I want to keep that shine on there. Okay, and this one didn't have a lot of shine to it on the skin part. We can change that a little if you want. Just gonna add a little bit of, I put a little bit of black in that umber just to darken it just a smidge, just to give it a little more depth so it looks round. That, we'll add a little bit of that to this too. This is still wet. Doesn't have a lot though. It's a little lighter than that one. Okay. I think that's good. These ones here, they were that odd shade, so dark. So these can be a little bit darker. So now we can add a little bit more to the bottom so that it looks like a shadow. And it also gives it the round look. Just try and soften those edges a little bit. This one here. A little darker there. Soften with a clean water. I end up adding a little bit more on the bottom here, I think. This paper is wet, so it's just going to bleed into the paper. Don't put too much though all at once, especially if you're using just sketchbook paper. You don't want it seeping into the other side. And I'm going to put shadows underneath here too. Okay. And then these guys, they don't need a whole lot. They'll actually get a little bit of highlight in some areas, but I want to make this bottom part where the roots are a little darker. So I'm just adding that black mix to the bottom area. That's about the darkest areas it's going to have. There might be a few on the top here, but don't put a lot in. Just where those, and then we'll take a pen and do a little bit more. All right, so let's dry that and then we'll put a shadow in. All right. So now we could just put, you could put writing on here too. I'm going to put a shadow in. The shadow is going to be a little bit of this umber color and then a little bit of blue. I want a little more on the blue side, so it grays it down. So we'd have, let's see, like this. And this one here. Doesn't have to be a lot, but it does, once you do this, it does finish off how it's sitting. You kind of have to make sure you have it all going in the same direction though. You don't want all your shadows on different sides. Like that, I think, and this one here. Like that. You can go back in and darken just along the very edge of where the shadow meets the bulb. Should be just a tad darker. Because that's where it meets the table the closest. So the shadow gets darker in there. I think this needs to be a little bit bigger. That. There. Dark, really dark in there. I find the shadows is where the magic really happens. Yeah, I love putting shadows in. it just makes it stand up off of the page. Then you could also put, the little squigglies in if you wanted to, but I don't think that's necessary. Now we can take our pencil, and we could also put in, let's see, maybe I brought in a couple leaves. We could actually just glue these in if we wanted to. Like that. These are real leaves. Or I could have one over here. And then just write about it there. Or we could have the written area up there. I kind of like having real stuff in your. So I could put those in and then just have what all these things are, or write in the areas too. Like, okay, so these here are spring green, it's called, tulip. So let's put these away for now. And we'll put tulip spring green. These are called tulip honky tonk. So we could just put that in here. And then this one, we could Scary. Where would I want that one? We'll start off with this. Scary. Azurium. Azurium. Okay. And then you could fix it up. I always put them in pencil first, and then I'll go in and add the ink. And I could glue that in there. And this one in here. Or we could have it this way too. That kind of looks cool like that. Okay. So I'm just going to use some matte medium and glue these on. Why not? Get a piece of paper. Where did I put my, oh, there it is. Okay, let's glue this one on first. Oh, that brush needs to be cleaned. Let's see. I'll use this one. So I want to use the back side as the part I glue. Put a fair amount on. I'm gonna put it on here too. Then just putting a little bit. On like that. And it will dry clear. You just have to kind of fiddle with the stem. I like adding a bunch to it. And this one, now you could get a stamp, you could draw your leaves, but I just want to use the real thing. Because it's flat enough, it's not going to make my book cumbersome to draw on. So may as well use it. I like using it. And it's my book. I can do whatever I want with it, right? Like I said, use your sketchbooks to try things out. Have fun with it. Let's see, we'll put it right there. There we go. Just press down in the areas that are lifting a little bit. It will eventually lie flat. Just kind of have to this is just deli wrap, so it'll come off. Just to get it to lie flat enough that when you lift it, it won't be totally dry, but dry enough to there. Okay. Have to hold that one down a little bit, I think. Now you could close this and then wait for it to dry by putting something in between, a piece of wax paper, whatever. Okay. So you could document about the leaves. You could put all kinds of stuff. You could put a border around here. So what else can we do? And also, if you're not sure, get some books out. So I've got some books here. So here's the Nature's Sketch. I love her stuff. And get some ideas. You don't have to do exactly what she does. Let's put this book away while it dries. Now the thing I like about her books is the how she does her borders. So it's just even just a straight line. I like how she does her writing. She uses pencils too and brushes and stuff. I think that's so cute. But here's a border that goes from gold to green. Something very simple. There's a blue border. She overlaps things over her borders. That's cute too. Or even doing flowers. Words, again, is cute too. If you make words to go around your border, you can do that. This is cute. A string with some feathers added to them here and there. Yeah, you could shadow the leaves. I can do that. I'll just wait for it to dry a little bit and then I'll shadow the leaves for you. I just thought I'd show you a few. These are cute little markers. Make them for the border. You'd even just add flowers for borders too. Here's a strawberry as a border. It's nice when you break up a border though by adding an apple, or this is cute, little pits. It just gives it personality. And if you're going through books, magazines, whatever it is, I find if you're seeing something, then you keep looking at it. It's sparked your interest in some way. It's always good to go back to those pages or even take a picture of them, or if they're just old magazines, tear that magazine picture out and document, what is it that I like about this? Is it the color? Is it the composition? Or is it something very simple like this border? Put it in your sketchbook and document what it is that you like. That way you have something to remind you of the little things that you're liking that other people are doing. Doesn't mean you have to copy it exactly, but it gave you that idea, and you can use that in some other way. These are really cute. I love this. Little pencil marks. She also uses a lot of color combinations. They're all different. Her stuff is fantastic. I don't know if you know her, but she's pretty well known. This looks like a ball of string all around with a little acorns. That's cute. Here's a neat way too. She's done just a little picture of a bunch of trees that are colored, and then she's taken leaves around it and named what they are. So it gives you ideas. And this is how you learn how to do your own sketchbooks, by looking at other people's sketchbooks. Kathy, what's the name of this book? It's Nature's Sketchbook. She's got a few of these out, I think. This is a fairly old one. Let me see. I got this secondhand. This is 1994. Okay. Let's see. Let's give this a little bit of a blow dry. Okay, so that helped by pushing it down, helped it adhere to the page. So we can add some shadow to these too. So because they're flat, they don't have any curls to them. It's going to be very simple. So we'll just take a smaller brush because we don't need a really thick shadow, because it's not a thick object. So with these, we had our shadows coming out fairly deep because of the thickness of this bulb. But because this is laying flat, we don't need the thickness, unless it was, say, crinkled and curled in some way. Then we could make it a little thicker. But a lot of times too, is if you're wondering how to put your shadows in, what you can do is add, put it on a piece of paper and shine a light on it and see what it looks like after you've put that light on, and that'll show you how much of the what's in there shadow needs to be done. I'm trying to get a bit of a gray color. Okay, so now I can put, now because all the shadows are, so the source of light is coming this way, so that's casting the shadow down here. So it has to apply to these leaves too, but you wouldn't see a lot. So I could just, right on the very edge here, just put a line. And it'd be on the underside, not on top. Like that. And then the same would apply to the leaf. So I might just see a little bit of a shadow. Kind of like when you're doing letters, you don't do the whole letter in a shadow form. You only see a bit of it. So it'll be just around the edge. So this would be here. That. And a little bit on the curve there. Same with this one. See the shadow right in here. It'll be fairly flat, not very big. And then starting here. And a little bit in here. Now we probably won't see any there because the sun is coming this way. So it's not going to have a shadow on either side. Might have a little bit here, not much though. Kind of like that. So it's not much, but sometimes it doesn't take much to finish a page when it comes to shadow. I could probably put a little more in here though, because like I said, depending on the thickness will depend on how dark your shadows are going to be too. So this one, because it's so thick, there's a whole lot more shadowing going on around the edge of it. So we could put a little bit more on the bottoms here. Just pops that up a little bit more. So you got to remember it's sitting on something. Table, whatever. Okay. A fairy dancing on the leaf. Yeah. So we can, I think I'm going to leave this area here and do some more writing. But I could, do a little bit of this blue, greenish blue, kind of here and there. And we could just draw a line, thick and thin, whatever, like this. And then right in here, I think what I'll do, maybe I'll put a shovel in here. So if you add a little bit of thickness, gives it interest. You can make them change color if you want by adding a little bit of color to it. Okay, so let's see. Let's put a little shovel in here because that's what's going to be. So I think, well, we could have the handle like this. Maybe we have one of those shovels for planting bulbs where they have the lines on the shovel part that tells you how deep it is. Well, I don't know if you guys have seen those, but they're kind of cool. So let's see. 2, 4, 6, and 8-inch. Like that. And then we'll just put some like that. These bulb planting things. Oh yeah, yeah, one of those like cone. Where it takes the dirt out. I don't have one of those. Here, like that. And then can finish putting that color in. Ah. And then a bit of black. I haven't got a picture of one in front of me, so I'm not sure about the shadowing of the steel. Let's make that green. The handle, a little bit of green. The reason why I'm picking green, oh, that's really light. Oh, that's that green, that weird green. Hardly has any color in it. I don't know. I don't care for it, but it'll work for now. Slightly. What is that called? Green Earth. It's the weirdest paint I've ever. It's hard to get any color out of it. It's so weird. Like that. All right. Could put a little bit of yellow, or to brighten this border up a little bit, let's put a little bit of golden ochre in there. Not this one. Just a bit here and there. Doesn't have to be a lot. Just here and there. Get it a little different. We could go in with you could do all kinds of stuff. You could put flies in there. You could put bees. There, like that. So now we could do some writing. So could make it a little fancier. So now all I have to do is erase those. Like that. And I'm going to put some more fuzzies on here. There's just a few more on these. These guys had all kinds of roots. All kind of, it almost looked like a bird's nest. They're all mangled together. So put those in. Like that. And now you could play. I'm not sure what I'm gonna put here. Could be autumn bulbs or fall plantings. I don't know. Anyone having her video burst of flickering? Oh. Not you guys? Okay. Don't know. YouTube's been doing some updates for stuff. And I think I'm going to put a shadow in here too. That. All right. Maybe fall 2022. I could get, do I have any? Let's see. You could do stencils. FAL. You could have these pens, calligraphy pens. I don't know if you guys have seen these parallel pens. I'd have to practice though. I don't think I have one set up yet. Those. I'm not good at brush lettering. Something I have to practice on. Have fall. Something like that. I think it's kind of wonky though. Probably put some lines down maybe. There's an idea. Surprised Janet hasn't piped in. She's probably not watching. Is my guess. She would be yelling at me right now. Let's see. I think that would be. Let's see. I think I want it up here though. So I can bring this one down. Oh. And then I'll just put 2022 up here. like that. I'm going for it. Okay. Then we could just do different ways of doing writing too. So let's do a thicker line here. Don't have my other markers down. Maybe I could do it with this. Let's try. Gotta do my own thing, right? I can't be telling you to do something and I don't do it. It's a practice. Play, experiment. It's just paper. Ah, hope that didn't go through. Nope. All right. Now I can just give that a blast so I don't smear it. Thanks, Sandra. Have a good evening. Come back Thursday and we'll play with the lace you gave me. It's going to be fun. Have to. Oh, gotta repaste that. Okay. There we go. And just add a little bit back on there. A little bit left here. Just repaste this guy. There. This one. All right. And then just date it. Don't forget to date, so you know when you did it. So today is the 27th. 2022. All right, so there it is. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some ideas on journaling, and Don't be too serious and build up your confidence with your sketchbooks. It will de-stress your life. It will help you mentally by just getting away from the world for a little while. It has been proven scientifically to lower your blood pressure, also lessen depression and anxiety levels. So just get an ordinary composition book, whatever you can afford, and start creating stuff inside of it. And don't show anybody. Build up your confidence, draw whatever. It could be a crack in the wall or on the sidewalk. It could be leaves. It could be whatever you want. Just practice drawing. You don't even have to add color to it. Just practice, because the more you do, the more practice you get, the more confident you get, and the more you will be able to draw. So I'll leave that with you, and I hope to see you on Thursday. And have a fantastic week, everybody. Bye for now.